jadi MVP dengan 29,7% hasil percentage. Dia juga berkali-kali pakai Bucky, ya kan? Main Neonnya juga masih punya movement guardnya sendiri dari Mei sendiri. Ini pemain yang konsisten banget sih, 354 AC.
Coming in from both teams, keep on saying, let's have no regrets. I got a lot of those, but you know, we're going to talk about that later during my own therapy session. But both EXP saying like, yeah, you're strong, I'm strong, Cram's in the conversation as well. What do you think about the interaction there? Like, you know, Nino shouting out Kibomba saying the best, you know, despite all the other EXPs this year.
I mean, I think that EXP laners all fall within the same category. We keep the trash talk in the game, but outside of it, it's all about mad respect. It's all about understanding the hardships, because the EXP lane is very expressive compared to every other lane in the game that we've seen so far. We don't have help like the mid lane. We don't have that range like the gold lane. So we have to be so honest when we fist fight our opponents.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like outside we're gentlemen. But once we get in the ring, you know, just hit them up, which I hope for both EXP laners, they actually get expressive heroes, you know, things that has a lot of ways to actually start the fight and not just be like, just...
Oh wow, Esme versus Glue again.
Or Uranus,
Uranus, yeah, so much fun.
You guys can speak for yourselves. I'm a jungler. So what I think will happen is people are going to avoid Yi Shin, so we don't see Uranus.
Well, we're going to see what the junglers will pick up, because right now, as we're waiting for the teams to come in, let's check out this video highlight and then invite them in.
In the past, I've always had tough matches against Indonesia, and M5 against Geekfan, and M6 against TLID, and then M7 against Onyx. I'm really excited to face them, because I know that the arena is going to be packed when we would play.
We have like more difficult brackets than last time. We have bad preparation, and we just need to walk in this match.
Aman terjadi, mungkin bisa dibilang kita kaget sama stage baru, suasananya kayak agak beda gitu loh. Jadi kayak bisa dibilang kayak telat panas atau enggak, yang mentalnya agak goyang.
Selama ini mereka baru adaptasi kali ya sama meta-meta lawannya kan. Itu juga bisa jadi salah satu faktor kekalahan kita.
Kekalahan pertama yang pasti ya sakit. Sebelum-sebelumnya kan lagi hoki, perjuangan kita tuh kayak gitu. Aku nggak percaya sebenarnya.
Untuk jadi satu-satunya perwakilan Indonesia mungkin pressure-nya lebih naik lagi ya. Soalnya kan kita satu-satunya harapan Indonesia kan. Gue ngerasa kayak keinget aja gitu sih pas MSC 2025 kemarin kan. Yang ada di pulang duluan ya.
The Red Giants will remain!
Ultraga is a decent strong team, and they doing well during this M7. They understood meta better than everyone.
I don't think they got lucky, to be honest. They had their strategies, teams have read them. We are not an exception. We are also doing them.
Buat lawan tim Spirit ya yang pasti kita lebih hati-hati karena emang kita pemainnya juga jago kan.
They like to fight. We can take advantage of AE. We're also ready to fight. So let's see who's gonna fight better.
Next match will be very important versus Ultraga. We need to beat them so we can broke our course and get higher than top 4.
Buat Bomba dulu pernah taunting temen aku, dan sekarang kalau berani taunting aku.
Well, big talk comes now, but later when we'll play, we will see who's gonna talk.
Will Team Spirit eliminate the hometown heroes, or will Alter Ego end their run for the top 4?
This is the last hope for Indonesia, but now their opponents, the Fearless Dragons.
front of their opponent's crowd, the bastions of EECA, Team Spirit!
Now both teams are on stage fighting for tournament life. This is going to be Indonesia's last hope to stay in the tournament. But against the fearless dragon, it's going to be a hard-fought battle. And now introducing the coaches, Coach Coldstar for Team Spirit, and for Alter Ego Esports, it's Coach Zephyr as well as Stick. With them is the M7 head referee Gary to ensure the integrity and fairness of the tournament.
These athletes on this stage are playing for tournament lives. A best of 5 to determine whether they move on or whether they go home.
And right now, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for both teams here. Alter Ego and the Team Spirit as they're doing their fist bumps.
Good luck to both of our teams here as they put everything on the line. All stakes at an all-time high. Here at Indoor Stadium Santai, our crowd will give only the best for both of our competitors.
And now looking at the lineup here for Alter Ego, we got Nino, Yasuke, Hijime, Alec, as well as Arfi. And again, in terms of their performance this tournament, it has been quite amazing. But I am looking at Arfi just to see what other heroes that he might be using here going up against Team Spirit.
Based on what we've seen so far, I mean, the fighter gold lane has been something that Alter Ego was able to spot out early on within the tournament, and I think it has really helped them. However, now that everybody else is kind of caught up to what the tournament meta looks like, I feel like he can do it, but we've seen drafts take away those fighters, and eventually Claude just becomes an inevitable problem.
What I want to see him play are mages. Are they able to flex out a Lunox? Maybe even the old reliable Harith? Because I know Hiko can do that. And since Hiko has proven that Hiko Mania has started indeed here in Jakarta, Indonesia, this is where the play evolves. It's not in the draft. I know what they're capable of playing, but I want to see how high he can take his GPM. He's #1 in gold laners at 755. Folks, consider how low that is for a #1 stat. 755. We're not even breaking 800.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn from both Alter Ego and Team Spirit. Both teams really like to fight. However, there's a lot more discipline coming in from Team Spirit. There's a cleaner shape to the way that they fight compared to Alter Ego, which seems a little messy, but you heard it from Kid Bomba themselves. They were ahead of the meta. They had a strategy despite it looking a little mean.
Right now, in terms of the lineup here, as I feel like the Team Spirit, they have really figured out the meta because throughout the Swiss stage, Hiko was on mostly Granger, but now we can definitely see him really embracing a more of a fighter kind of mentality, bringing in the Freya, the Valentina, going up against that Sora. And of course, if the Sora is open, he will be picking it up for himself, where we can see that Alter Ego, they're trying to counter-ish the meta, which so far hasn't really worked out, but then again, it was against Aurora Philippines, so there's kind of a lot of things that has to be put into context there.
Yeah, I think #1 is the fact that when AE take a fight, it's a bit of a coin flip. And I think they're willing to risk those probabilities and odds without the information. Aurora PH exposed that, saying, hey, if you don't have enough information, you are making a miscalculated or a misinformed attack.
Which is why I think Alter Ego is not countering the meta. Reading into how that series against Aurora PH went, they lost 3-1, and that one game they won, there was very little counterplay. It was literally just them running through the Northern Lights. So, in my humble opinion, if they want to win in front of their home crowd here, a hostile crowd against Team Spirit, they have to play their game. Play aggressive, play fast, play strong, and if you're going to lose one lane, may it be Arfi's, accept that fact, win everywhere else.
I think if they're going to win, it's leaning more towards where Yasuke and Hijime are going to play, right? And on the opposite end, it's One Shot and Sunset Lover. Both of them have been playing an outstanding level of just general consistency overall. We don't see too many mistakes being made from both of these players, which is why there's so many similar parallels. They position hyper aggressively. One Shot alongside with Yasuke don't miss too many opportunities when they have hyper mobile assassins on the map.
I gotta say, I'm looking at Sunset Lover as well. Again, having that Valentina going out against Yangon Galacticos, over 200,000 damage, only dying once, and that one death was because he was kicked by a Cho, and then that's it. Imagine having a mid-range mage and only dying once because you got kicked. That's it.
I think those are going to be the aces up their sleeves. If we're talking about mid lane, Hijime versus the consummate professional, the veteran among them all, the Greco-Roman wrestling veteran. That is Sunset Lover, the Valentina for the latter, and the Lilia for the former. Hijime, if they end up in a fist fight in a telephone booth, just to put it into context, he should be prepared to play the Lilia.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Because again, like Merc even say, he wants to see a little bit more coming in from Alter Ego. I actually feel like, especially in the Swiss stage, the draft is actually pretty solid. I feel like it's really just on that macro mechanics, especially when it comes to those decision making. Because, you know, as great as he is, as expressive as he is on those EXPs, it's just something that EXP as well as roamers really have to keep in the back of their head. When you engage for a fight, are you engaging so that your team can win, or you're kind of sabotaging your own team's chances?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? I think AE is one of the very few teams that we saw where it feels like, oh man, they're kind of fighting for no reason. And then you realize that battle spells were the priority rather than just the lives of their opponents. And I think that coming into this match, that's going to be the real difference, right? The battle of attrition. Who can hold on to their spells longer? Who can find more impact than just the 1-for-1? They need 2 to 3-for-1s.
Well, right now we are jumping into the first draft here, and it's going to be dangerous grass, where again here in the M7, quite fast games, and considering both teams really like to fight, I'm guessing both are pretty happy with this map.
They're going to be real happy. Hilda might be a little bit of an issue, but we'll see whether that's even going to get banned out. We're already gone to the second bans. Fanny, Leomord for the side of Cold Star, Zephyr already getting rid of the Grok.
It's clear that in the Fandom War, Team Spirit will be losing both in stadium and online. Indonesian fans are rabid, but they can make up for it by calling the shots from blue. They see Kalia is banned, so what's left out here? Team Spirit can still access their Farsa. They can still access the Eve and the Zushin. That seems to be a powerful trade both teams are looking at.
Ooh, Uranus banned here for the side of TS.
I mean, like, also it shows that maybe they're thinking of a Yisun Shin, or they're baiting AE to take that Yisun Shin. But I'm just saying, good. At least I know that both Nino as well as Kid Bomba, they're gonna be, you know, using more exciting heroes. I just put it at that.
I mean, this also opens up the possibility of Esmeralda even going into the gold lane, because Sora is going to be such an inevitable problem, right? I don't see Zephyr letting the Zushin go for free, so that's going to get banned, and I would assume that TS might even consider putting Hiko back on that Sora, assuming, oh, you know what, never mind, if Boxia is going to get banned out, give it to him.
Pretty interesting, considering that we don't see a lot of boxes coming in from One Shot, so maybe it's just a throwaway ban. And now they do ban out that Jushin. Farsa Eve is still open, but this should be a Sora pick to take away from Hiko. But again, he could use that Valentina.
I think right now, considering everything that has happened now that Zushin is there, Sora loses just a little bit of value, right? As much as the quote-unquote anti-CC, it's very conditional. And I love that AE immediately. All right, you want to play Zushin? How about we create a box of influence, and we have somebody who can get in and out while still having CC immunity.
Okay, I'm a little worried. This Guinevere is definitely a very effective weapon. 100% win rate for Yasuke. I mean, played once. But what are they thinking? Why are they picking this so early?
The end of one thing.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. And Gideon did call it where they're going to be picking up the Esmeralda. And at this point, maybe the Sora is not that big of a priority, which is going to be pretty weird, because so far it has been basically 100% contention, you know, pick ban. You don't want to go for the junglers here. It looks like they are. They're taking out the Yisun Shin.
I don't know if they're trying to sell the idea that this Guinevere could potentially go into the roam.
Yeah, that's the only other possibility, right?
Right?
You're kind of you're feinting it so that Team Spirit overcommit.
I want to see whether they fall for it though. Because yes, the Yishin Shin it's really selling the idea, this is Gwyn Jungle, please trust us, Gwyn Jungle for sure. TS still has to take a number of considerations, right? Number one, this could be a deterrent for them to not play Fredrin. And I think One Shot will be okay with that. So they ban out the Cho instead, which I like a lot coming out from the side of TS.
Yeah, just to note here, Alter Ego, the last time they used a Gwyn roam, it was against Aurora Philippines and they lost. But again, that game went all the way to 18 minutes and 25 seconds. So all in all, still pretty competitive.
I didn't cure the pain.
And the follow-up ban as well. They want to lock in that Sora unless Cold Start bans it right here, right now for the final ban on blue side.
Love how Coach Zephyr is making this red side advantage in the draft. Win rate is something else entirely, something that they really harness. Because again, he's calling the shots, he's forcing Cold Star to make these hard calls. One more ban. The Cho ban is just making sure that it's not a flex.
Oh man.
I wonder what the young man Hiko's saying.
I think Hiko just figured it out, right? Because if you ban out the Sora, that means Claude instantly goes to AE, and there's not going to be much counterplay other than the CC, which might compromise their whole composition. Either way, the Freya can get put into that, can get put down into the gold lane to face off against that Claude. But at this point, it's really not up to them. And now this opens it up. Hylos is gone. AE need to show something.
Yeah, in terms of the roamers, Gatot as well as Hilda is still up for grabs, but looking at the draft coming in from Team Spirit, I don't think a Hilda is going to be good because any, I would say, frontliners is not going to be having a good time here going up against this Jushin as well as the Khalid.
All right, you see Sawo here take a swig, getting himself some wings. Gonna need it to find that back line.
He's got to stay sharp because, again, this is, if we're talking about quote-unquote aggression and teams who really like to get into a phone booth in this fight, these are the teams who come up at the top of that list. Sora finally gets locked in for the side of Alter Ego as we now look over to the priority of Team Spirit. They can go for the Valentina as a response to this, but they're going blind. Oh yeah, it's already banned out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So here's the thing, for Team Spirit, we're just guessing this probably Freya gonna be in the goal. I feel like the tricky part is really the jungler, and AE is really holding on to this Gwyn to the final second here.
Team Spirit are not hiding their picks. These are going to the roles you expect, right? Mid, gold, roam in order. What does One Shot pick up? A lot of the easy assassins are still out there. What does the Kid Bomba pick up? There's the Alice, there's the Hayabusa.
This is a bit of a bizarre comp, I'm not gonna lie. There is a little bit of like anti-synergy to a certain degree, but at the very least, if TS is able to find that first initial kill, especially First Blood, right? First Blood, maybe a double kill if we're lucky. I think that One Shot might be able to hard carry this game, but this is under the assumption that he finds it, right? Because AE, a majority of their members, if they just play the lane relatively safe, or more so, don't force too many ganks until level 4, they should be all right.
AE wins big fights. Spirit wins when it comes to little skirmishes. They like the man fight, is what we're trying to read into this. But we still don't know where the Guinevere is going. This could change everything.
Come on, give us something, Alter Ego. Give us an idea, and there we have it. It's going to go straight into the jungle Gatot as a means to clear up that mid lane without having to deal with his Khalid too often.
Cold Star did not budge. He didn't let that red 5 pick or mystery change the way that they were going to play. I like it. Respect.
So right now, Leo, looking at the matchup here, do you feel like between both teams, do you feel like the damage coming in from Alter Ego, it's going to be good here?
I think it's less of the damage. It's more of the crowd control. Look, almost literally everyone has some modicum of crowd control, and I think that's what's going to make Team Spirit's job a little harder. They want a man fight, they got to go through the kit.
I think AE is going to outscale them eventually. Hopefully, they end this quick.
Well, with that being said, again, this is going to be dangerous grass. Team Spirit going up against Alter Ego. This is a game number 1. Let's see who sets the tempo as we're throwing it over to the casters.
For those of you just tuning in, this is the second series of the day. It was quite an interesting draft overall. Before we jump into the land of Dawn, this is Trex. Joined with me is Mirko and Brigida. Now, speaking of the draft, Brigida, how are you feeling about it?
It feels very brawly with the amount of fighters we're seeing and the unexpected, I'd say, sequence in which we saw them draft for game number 1. I completely agree. There could be a lot of snowball potential coming in for Alter Ego, but just the same, Team Spirit, it's impossible for them to not know that this is a scaling lineup or that it'll take some time before they can go fully online. So I think they will be playing this relatively carefully.
Already some good damage on to one shot there.
Yeah.
Testing waters, testing waters.
That was deep, man. A deep test. That was a dive.
Hold on, a little more. Everyone should be okay at this point. I like what Leo said. Literally, everyone has some piece of crowd control on Alter Ego Esports. Yeah. And that means not only are they going to be great at engaging because they have some amazing divers, but they also have great deterrence. They have the ability to stop the dives from Team Spirit in their tracks. If Sawo goes too deep, it could be dangerous. One shot could end up getting caught off. I think as long as Alter Ego can kind of survive this early aggression of Sunset Lover and Sawo, the early laning phase, they're going to be in a very comfortable place.
Look at Yazuke. Really looking for the play here, but TS are playing it safe in the mid lane.
Yeah. Even for the Master Assassin pickup here for Hiko on the Freya, though we see how good or how well Arfi is managing the lane. So you can't really feel it just yet. Hold on.
Wow, spatial migration with Valor Requiem straight up. Yazuke, first blood on the Guinevere.
Yeah, I think that was mentioned by our panel earlier. This is such a great start for Alter Ego, granted that they got first blood.
Hey.
Oh, what?
Harpy's good. He's good. Continue.
Okay, yep. So that will be a really good start for Alter Ego. Now we see them positioning themselves first on the turtle. Nino, though, can he get traded here? I think he's going to be all right.
Yep. Just a throw in a ruin. That's the damage put back onto Bomba by Nino. Blink away, Yazuke securing turtle number 1 up top. Solo kill! Arfi on the Esmeralda.
Alter Ego already kicking things off quick. And we talked so much. I mean, I feel like the past few days has been so much about early aggression, controlling the laning phase, and Alter Ego already has that, a turtle plus 2 kills and a 1.3k gold lead.
So that's the answer, I would say. Why go for the Guinevere early and set up the Esmeralda flex so that the Freya gets cooked? Now it's a shadow kill onto Alec, but he just pops it and revitalizes. Yazuke wants to go more. AOG from Alec into the Violet Requiem and the falling Star Moon from Arfi.
Even without the spatial migration, it did not matter. They had other ways to set up for the Violet Requiem, and one shot being the target couldn't get any better for Alter Ego. A real-world manipulation.
Yep.
Nino does get away safely, and this is what I mean with there's such a great level of engage and disengage from Alter Ego Esports. They have the full package. I really think that Sora should have got banned on the side of Team Spirit in second phase. I had a feeling it was going to get picked up right up front, and it's just going to work so clean in so many of these fights, especially in Nino's hands.
Yeah, this is going to be terrifying, though. It's an early 2-0 for Arfi on the Esmeralda. So regardless of whichever build he decides to go for, and looking at the damage output you could expect from Team Spirit, it's not going to be easy for them to deal with Arfi when he gets to rotate constantly out of his lane, which he's likely able to do from this point onwards, because look at how much he stopped Hiko.
There's no shred right now for Team Spirit. The way they actually get through Arfi is if they throw enough bodies. Then maybe in 5v1, you can actually take him down. But if it's a 5v5, again, Radiant stands strong defensively here. For Sawo, he knows the amount of pressure that Alter Ego have, the kill threat on the map.
Yeah, and that's 6 seconds before the turtle. And Hiko could barely do anything against this Esmeralda. That doesn't land to Kid Bomba, but this is pretty much clear that Alter Ego are already in control of this upcoming objective. But still, one shot, he can't contest if he wanted.
Oh, all in again, spatial migration with Violet Requiem. He's able to get away, but Sawo's on him right now. He goes for it, one shot, wins out the red 3 battles. Nino is on to Bomba. Sawo caught in the midst of it all. Now there is Nino to the skies, but Bomba with the chase on the blink. Sunset Lover with Lantern Flare. Alec gonna be picked up, thrown back around. No AOG, no Revitalize. Unbreakable gets him out to safety, and Sunset cannot put in enough damage.
Team Spirit finally take home a little dub there. They get the turtle, they get a kill, not only just a kill, but a kill onto Yasuke.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the items though, Brigida, what are we seeing?
Yep, there's an early Sea Halberd for Hiko, no choice. You have to find ways to deal with this. There's a 1k gold lead in favor of Arfi, so he definitely has to have some sort of response. But at least what we're seeing from Team Spirit is that One Shot is not as behind as you would expect him to be. He, as the Hayabusa, gets to focus on the farm. Yasuke needs to coordinate with his team, and I guess that's a bit of a difference between the two junglers that we're seeing. Team Spirit can still focus on what they want, but that's a spatial migration.
Yeah, and a Final Requiem to follow. Sawo Raging Sandstorm defensively. And that's it. The thing is, right, like, Sawo can't rotate to Hiko because, like, there's no pressure to be relieved against an Esme. There's no threat for the Khalid.
Yeah, I think Yasuke is going to have to be careful, though, for as we move forward, which we saw in that last hurdles. When you commit to that Violent Requiem, if One Shot is still there, ready with a Shadow Kill, can come in after, highly damage you. Bomba comes in, the Shred does finally lock in, and Yasuke may end up just being the target, especially if they're able to kind of bait him in. RWM comes down, though.
Yeah, the Quad Shadow landed there. The taunt can be cancelled out by the pickup on the Lancer Flare, but One Shot won't go for the commitment, and it's a free turret up top. Yasuke, a bit aggressive there, walks up to the bush thinking Sawo was on the edge.
Yeah. That's where you see that there is indeed no Shred just yet. That was Alec who they tried to fight against. Also Hijume, who was also there, forced to use the real-world manipulation. But even then, not even Hijume looked like an ideal target for Team Spirit. Not at least for now. So it will be taking a bit more time, not unless it's One Shot who's actually able to provide the follow-up. But he'll be starting the turtle first instead.
All right. It's Hiko holding on to it. Lantern Flare coming in the back line. Sawo able to bait out the spatial migration with the help of Bomba as RP goes for falling star move. But that's going to be the One Shot retribution onto the turtle. Nino walking in the back line. Sunset level going to be caught. Kid Bomba will fall. Sunset will be taken out by Nino all alone there. And now it's Alter Ego with a 3-for-1.
Arfi will be a problem this game. And overall, it just feels like lane for lane for lane. Alter Ego won out in this draft.
Uh-oh. What a taunt, reading the Quad Shadow movement, but he has the last one there. Yasuke, though, will take the orange buff away from One Shot.
Honestly, RP already is a massive problem for Team Spirit at this point. You could see it in terms of the gold lead. He's already completed 2 items on his another one. Sawo!
Yeah, that's painful. The Unbreakable doesn't land, but there's not much damage they can deal back. Sunset having a Crimson Beacon outside of the spatial migration. RP thrown back at them. That's good for Arfi. He's so tanky, and there's no one who can take his damage.
Yeah, even despite Team Spirit constantly being the ones to take away the objectives, it doesn't matter for Alter Ego anymore. They just get to freely go for the team fights afterwards, and they always win it out.
You know, we saw those items earlier, and Arfi has about almost a 2,000 gold lead over Hiko right now. Finished Oracle, was moving into Dominance Ice. I mean, there literally is nothing that can hurt Arfi. And the problem is Hiko's supposed to kind of be that Shred, right? You're supposed to be able to get your kind of fighter Trinity build in there and be able to bully through. And at a certain point, I don't know if that's ever really going to be able to pop off because like Mirko said, there's nothing to really lock Arfi down for long enough. Finally, War Axe does come in, Sea Halberd, so no, not even going. That's a slightly different build than what we would normally see, isn't it?
I mean, that's a poor Freya, dude. It's a different Freya to what we've seen before. So yes, a different path.
What, corrosion?
Yeah, he wanted to go for the Sea Halberd because he needs to deal damage to Arfi. But by the time he got the Sea Halberd, Arfi's already too tanky, dude.
Yeah, and by the way, Yasuke also got his hands on the Winter Crown. So you could expect more plays to come in for Alter Ego. Plays that Team Spirit could barely control. Because again, we just go back to the entire idea of maybe they can rely on Sawo with the Raging Sandstorm, maybe Kid Bomba with the Throne of Ruin, but once you use those spells, it's almost over.
Bomba might have gone in way too early. Raging Sandstorm from Sawo. No follow coming down as Yasuke is able to get out with the Spatial Migration clone, and now it's going to be Nino in the backline with the AOG as well from Alec. One shot bomb into the Shadow Kill, Throne of Ruin into the backline. RWM coming down as Kid Bomba's caught in the midst of it all. Still Sunset Lover in there, going for the Lancer Flare, and the Freya is doing a ton of damage. Bomba goes back on Yasuke, takes him down, but Arfi is still full HP. Man's on a killing spree, timing and determined against Hiko and Sawo. He's taking these 3 Spirit members on all alone.
Arfi, the monster. We thought it was going to be Nino versus Bomba, but right now it's Arfi versus Kid Bomba in a 1v1, 2 tanky people. And I got to say, Kid Bomba was the one that made that fight kind of swing into
What is this?
Alter. It's literally just a slap boxing
What is this?
at this point.
We're following them. Oh, he gets help from Sawo. But yeah, I was supposed to say, Team Spirit, they too, in their own way, are actually a very tanky lineup. They have a very tanky duo in the form of Sawo and Kid Bomba, and I think that's what allowed them to prolong and extend that team fight, much to a point where Alter Ego couldn't really fight back anymore, because you see the conditions that they have to tick. You have to land at least your combos. You have to see the knockups come into play, or at least find the right target so that you could reduce some of the pressure from Team Spirit. But at that moment, I don't think they were able to find any. It was also a very aggressive call for Nino to just go lightning form and try to damage the people in the backline when in fact they were being really well protected. So they found no other way to counterattack. Oh no.
Purify out already. Sunset Lover knows he needs to keep the Crimson Beacon up, but that's a big resource, and Bomba looks like he's going to be poked down by Hijime with the Void Blast and Arfi as well. Man, 3 members on him. He's going to go to the mid lane, utilizing the wave for sustain.
Bomba's also almost impossible to kill at this point. Yeah. He's one of the members on the team that it took a while for him to get a death onto him. He's been able to farm pretty freely. When we looked at the gold spread, he's not that far behind, honestly, compared to at least the rest of his team. And if Team Spirit wants to win this out, a lot it's going to be how much can Kid Bomba divide the enemy team so that Hiko in one shot can pop off.
Yeah, and I feel like Arfi knows fully well that he has to do the exact same thing. He's been doing a great job at cutting the waves, but now they put their attention towards him.
I don't think they'll have enough damage to take him down, dude. And I think Team Spirit identified that too. They were like, all right, let's go. Never mind.
Yeah.
Same dude.
Oh.
Sawo in a little bit of trouble here.
Uh-oh, baits out the spatial migration. Sawo with the flicker around. Now goes for the healing as Nino's already used the ultimate. Valkyrie Descent coming down now as that's going to pick up with the Crimson Beacon and Lancer Flare over on Nino. But look at the Lord. It's being taken right now to spatial migration. Yasuke gets away. Bomba has gone control over the Lord Pin. Alec trying to look for the angle right now to open up. Artemis coming down with AOG as well. One shot going in. Hits away! Steals away the Lord. One shot falls. He going back trying to survive now up against Nino. But Bomba's doing the same thing as Sawo was able to pick up Yasuke and Nino.
And down goes Team Spirit.
Yeah.
Alter Ego take the Lord. Sawo's on the run. Arfi! He's a god!
5-0-4. He's immortal without the immortality.
How could you actually put down this hero? I mean, you could say the same for Kid Bomba. He dealt so much pressure there. Made sure Yasuke was zoned out of retribution range. And there was a really good follow-up from the other members of Team Spirit as well. But now that you're seeing how they freely took away that objective and how they split up the fight in such a way that favored them, now they have the 7K gold lead in their hands.
You know, I never liked the movies Immortals, personally. But Arfi right now is proving me wrong. He's the new main character right now of Alter Ego Esports. And this guy is showing up. Bomba trying to do the same thing, but right now Arfi's just doing a little bit better. And the Lord steal from Hijime.
RWM, this time the Crimson Beacon. Kid Bomba would have thrown it away. That's Yasuke with the spatial migration of Valkyrie, but Alex going to be taken very low. AOG locking Hiko down. Raging Sandstorm from Sawo. Bomba still in the middle. One shot is able to get the shadow kill to take Yasuke down. It's still Nino throwing those bombs down. But now it's going to be him picked up onto the turret. One shot, able to get a double as Bomba is still in there. This time with Hiko. Falling Sarma coming down. One shot with a shadow kill. Gets a triple, gets out. That's Hiko taken out as well. Sunset Lover tries to get Arfi off of him, but he just can't stop moving. Meanwhile, Bomba!
It's literally the Bomba Arfi show. Both of them taking out the other mid laners. At this point, it's can your teammate survive my backline attack or better?
They're always the last two people left standing after a team fight. Well, at least in this scenario, there hasn't been much, or there hasn't been a wipeout whatsoever between these two teams just yet. It's been a 2-4-3 trade that's been happening, or that's happened so far. But everything still seems under control for Team Spirit, so long as they have Kid Bomba as the anchor of these extended team fights that Alter Ego themselves too seemingly are starting to have a difficulty to deal with.
All right, so at this point, the Lord's gonna be up in about 30 seconds. Taking a look at the items. We are reaching crunch time. It's not a huge gold lead, and as we get closer to maxed out items, it's going to be who just plays this better. Hiko is finally online. He did finally get the golden staff. It was a long route, right? Yep. He took a very slow path, but now that he's where he needs to be, we're seeing him actually matter in these team fights. He's able to jump in, he's able to survive, and he's able to output some actual damage. He's able to shred a little bit of what we wanted, but still lacking the range. Team Spirit still does have a problem on their hands. Hijume is able to use these big RWMs. They have some sort of long-range attacker. Team Spirit is going to have to just brute force their way through.
Yep. RP2 also Ice Queen Wand. Now that's a bit of damage onto Kid Bomba.
Yep, bit of damage onto Alec as well. Yazuki, spatial migration to Valor Requiem. Wait, that's forced. Shadow Kill on and Winter Crown coming down as well. Sawa is able to go for it, but Throne of Ruin didn't go on to anyone. Yazuki is still able to escape, and that's Hiko!
Kid Bomba to the back line on top of Nino, and Alec as RP just tries to run away. He gets pulled back.
Onto one shot, doing some damage. It's now Bomba holding it in. Yazuki, that was clearly a mistake from him. Why did he overcommit?
Yep. Now there's so much resources forced out of Alter Ego. Hijume down also means so much.
Wait a second, he has to flicker out. One shot on him. That's gonna be Lance from Fair picking him up, and that's him taken down by Sunset Lover. Arfie's finally taken out in the game.
A spear to the heart. Arfie goes down, and the Lord is slain.
Yep.
Team Spirit playing from behind for almost the whole game. 16 minutes in, they finally grabbed the wheel.
Team Spirit and what they were able to accomplish just now was something Alter Ego tried to do in their last siege, but failed. They tried to take out the mid laner before anything else. Hijume going down meant so much for Team Spirit. You saw Hiko could freely just jump in, dive the turrets, because he'd have an easy way out, knowing that all the other members of Team Spirit are being taken care of, or Alter Ego rather, are being taken care of. And this is all that they need. Allow Hiko to reach those turrets, and it will be an easy way for them to push forward.
Uh-oh. No spatial migration. They know there's no Valor Requiem. Shadow Kill coming down with the retribution. It's one shot. Who assassinates Yazuki? Nino, try to What?
Yes, that happened.
Yes.
You are correct.
Yeah.
What is correct? You know, I want to point out something. Yazuki needs to start approaching. If we get to another neutral objective, he's got to approach it differently. He can't be the first engager anymore.
On a ruin. No flicker committed by Bomba. One shot in the mid lane. Able to get the quad shadow on Arfie. Lord able to get the turret down below as the mid lane base turret will fall as well. They are managing these waves proper. Arfie locked in. Lancer Flare bringing it back into Bomba. That's gonna be Nino with a miss, a complete whiff. Sawo jumps in again with a passive. Up top base, they're gonna fall in. Oh, Alec. AOG, back to the base. Still has his immortality. 3 base turrets down.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources already. Alter Ego might just be able to take care of this wave, but what about the next waves?
Trouble still has a Raging Sandstorm. We're going to need to watch for the big attack.
Falling Star Moon again. Yasuke! Spatial migration, but no Violet Requiem. He goes back to his set. Oh my goodness, Sawo gets rid of RP now as hit Bomba. It's going to be thrown back into the midst of it all, but there's just no damage. Hijume with RWM Bomba!
It's Kid Bomba against the world right now. He's knocked up, and Sunset Lover one shot comes in.
Does he go for it? It's 3-3, 3v3. Hijume is gonna go for the chase. Not able to get in range, and finally Team Spirit calls it quits.
Yeah, Spirit were low. Kid Bomba was low, and you needed him to at least not be low so you could sustain a bit more, prolong a bit more if you wanted to. But also with Hiko down, and with one shot, using up the quad shadow and the Ogi shadow kill already, they had very limited ways to reach and force an end.
Listen, once Kid Bomba's down, once Arfie's down, both teams are like, hey, whoa. Our boys are gone. We gotta back off now, okay? We gotta leave. We gotta chill. Let's take a look at the items though. At this point, every person has it all. We're just waiting on Sawo to complete the build along with Alec.
Yeah. I guess going back to what we were talking about though, Yazuki changing his approach when there are objectives, I feel like we did kind of float around the idea of him just trying to really work together with Alter Ego in finding those setups and pickoffs, but now that Team Spirit seem to have an easier access towards the hero, definitely need to change things a bit.
Nino all alone in the bottom lane, able to go on to Sunset Lover. Now the AOG coming down as well as his spatial migration will be able to be used onto Sunset Lover, but he has to purify Bomba again with Throne of Ruin, but it only catches the claw. Yazuki! Spatial migration with the winner crown this time, but RP's gonna fall. Yazuki's still able to survive now. Hiko jumps in, but Alec is able to hold him down. Hiko take it low. Hijume!
Alec tries to move back in, but Kid Bomba's back on the attack. Nino continuing to strike, and Kid Bomba finds another one.
Big shutdown for Nino. Now it's Bomba and Sawo versus 3 of Alter Ego's member. Nino Over on Sawo he goes. Good healing coming out from him, but Nino has no more damage in his kit, and it will end here.
Okay. Quick Sandguard to save the day, and Alter Ego finally finds the kill on Sunset Lover. Might have seemed a bit too forced, but everything's working out so far.
Still a retribution on Yasuke though, and with one shot gone, Alter Ego are gonna try to steal this, but watch for Kid Bomba.
Oh my god, he's doing so much damage, my guy. Yasuke, oh my god, he got knocked up in the Lord. Kid Bomba with the Throne of Ruin. Now it's Alec getting away, but Bomba has saved the game. Heck, he might have won the game.
And he's still chasing after more. They find Nino. He's with Sao. Oh my goodness, Kid Bomba. He's been doing so much.
He's no kid, he's man Bomba.
Big Bomba.
Big bombs.
Big Bomba. Lord still up on the map. RP back on the map. So the dynamic duo, the immortal matchup right now can continue. But with Yasuke down, Team